As state election officials grapple with an onslaught of threats to poll workers and a wave of misinformation, this year they're also dealing with a tight supply of a critical voting resource, paper. Federal officials say more than 90% of all votes these midterms will be on paper ballots, but supply chain issues have made the material harder to come by, and some experts say it exposes a key vulnerability. So are we ready? Our Devin Dwyer has more from Phoenix.
At one of the nation's largest ballot printers, it's a final sprint to Election Day.
All the ballots get printed on these machines. They run at 500 feet per minute, so we will move about 20,000 ballots every hour.
Rumbeck Election Services is delivering 50 million midterm ballots across 10 states using 5 million pounds of paper. And this year, there's little room for error.
Capacity has come out of the paper industry. It used to, there were lots of paper mills in the U.S. and North America. Those have been closing down or converting over to cardboard boxes. It's more profitable for the mills. It's a very real threat.
Supply chain issues that have jolted the U.S. economy during the pandemic have been hitting election suppliers hard, causing shortages of envelopes, cardstock, and even stickers. Roughly 30 million pounds of paper are needed for a major election year. And experts say the supply crunch exposes a key vulnerability.
And it's not just any kind of paper. Ballots are printed on special heavyweight material like this so that automated vote tabulators can read it.
In a nationwide alert, the U.S. Election Assistance Commission warned state election officials of an unprecedented demand for ballot paper, with very long order lead times and a risk that some urgent last-minute orders this year may not be fulfilled.
We need to make sure that we're paying extra close attention to proofing of all materials, because if there was a typo or is a typo, your vendor might not be able to fill an emergency order in that way.
Members of Congress have also been sounding the alarm, holding urgent hearings on election supply chain risks.
There's that concern that it just won't show up.
There have already been isolated signs of trouble. In January, the paper shortage forced Texas officials to strictly limit printing of voter registration forms. During Pennsylvania's May primary, 2/3 of mail-in ballots in Lancaster County were unreadable by scanner machines because of a printing mistake and had to be processed by hand. And on the day we visited Phoenix, local officials discovered 6,000 ballots had been printed with major errors, requiring a second print and more paper.
We're all just collectively crossing our fingers and hoping that the supply chain works just fine and that we don't have any issues where a county has to, in large scale, purchase a whole bunch of envelopes or a whole bunch of ballots, because that's when it could manifest itself.
The government is so concerned about paper ballot production that the Department of Homeland Security has declared printers like these critical infrastructure.
We went through the process with Homeland Security, CISA, and Department of Commerce to get defense production authorization. So when we put an order in for paper, and Amazon puts an order in for paper, we're going to take precedence over Amazon. And that was to help just to make sure we would have the stock we needed.
With early voting underway in 33 states, election watchdogs say the ballot paper crunch has not yet become a crisis. The Election Assistance Commission telling ABC News it should not impact voting in the general election so far.
This is actually a good example of a success story. And largely, there has been aversion of a major crisis because of that coordination and that communication.
But experts caution Election Day could still bring surprises, and those may be especially consequential at a time when election integrity is already in the spotlight.
It's not realistic to think that the problem is solved. It's not.
What's your message for 2024?
Be prepared. Start planning early. Planning. It's the only way to overcome this.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.